Welcome back to BST, your favorite father-son podcast.
And really the perfect podcast where he just does all the work and I show up.
That's right.
Unscripted.
Exactly.
Don't know what we're talking about.
Don't be so harsh. We know what we're talking about. That's why these wonderful viewers watch us.
17 of them?
Yeah.
All right.
Please like and subscribe and leave some comments so we can comment some comments.
We can respond.
Yeah. Well, it was another good week of NFL football. Week 12.
That pop-up came up. I thought we were going to talk about Moana.
No.
Moana 2.
No.
We need to talk about that?
I've not seen the film.
We have Moana 2.
Wait, maybe we can start a movie podcast.
What's next? Wicked?
Yeah.
Wicked 2?
I heard Gladiator 2 was not good.
Who said it was not good?
Tom Grossi did.
Oh, Grossi. Come on.
Well, he said it was all right, but regardless.
Well, the second one usually isn't very good. I mean, look Jaws 2.
Yeah, true.
Not good.
True.
I mean, I'll watch it, but it's not good.
What was good
was good.
was the Packers win this weekend. They won 38-10 over the Niners.
Yes, they did.
It was finally the game we've kind of been searching for all year. Just a game where it's like, it was nice and easy with Jordan Love playing. Because
I don't know, that first
Titans
half was
game,
a little too tight for me.
It was, but I think we got to look at it as a whole.
Defense was the difference.
I mean, Jordan Love, he played all right. He had 2 touchdowns. Finally, a no-pick game, so that was good. But I think if you would have told me the Packers won 38-10, I would have been like, well, Jordan Love had like 4 touchdowns probably. But no, it was really a Josh Jacobs day. He had 26 carries, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think.
Did you know the Packers have a running back?
I know, right?
I know.
I mean, by the way, our fans reacted this offseason. You would have thought they didn't, because I mean, Jones is a great player, but Jacobs just has a different feel, especially in December.
Should have kept Jones.
We had the best running back tandem for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
In mid-March.
We did.
That was pretty awesome, but
yeah, then they killed it for us.
But yeah, so it's just a Josh Jacobs day. Wasn't really a Love day, but I think we were talking about this. If Watson catches that deep ball for a touchdown, I mean, that takes probably like three incompletions off of Love's stat line.
Yeah.
Adds a touchdown and adds like 40 yards or so, 40 or 50 yards. So I think it looks a lot different.
Watson's got a little bit of the yips like MVS, and for our 17 viewers, MVS means Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, look him up. Look up drop highlights.
Pay no attention to the 2 Super Bowls that he won with the Chiefs.
His real prime was in Green Bay. We made him who he is. But
we turned him into someone that could go to Kansas City and do the same thing, drop passes. But Patrick Mahomes could hit other guys.
Yeah,
so,
he got 2. Yeah. Was that a subtle shot at Rodgers there? No. That what I just heard there?
No, it wasn't subtle at all.
Oh, so it was just okay. I see that.
Mahomes could find other people running wide open. Just saying.
Okay. But getting back to this game, yeah, Josh Jacobs day, great day on the ground. What was the stat? Like, first running back with 100 yards and 3 touchdowns since, like, Dorsey Levens in Green Bay. So, that's pretty good. I think the thing about the Packers is, once again, their second-half defense plays insanely good. Only allowing 3 points. But if you look all season, I remember there was a stat not too long ago about like how many second half points they allowed, and it was pretty low. And I mean, against Detroit, they allowed 7. That's it.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's going to be really beneficial if the Packers can make the playoffs, which I think they got like a 91% chance with this win. Going forward, if you can get a lead going into half, the defense is going to clamp it down for you in the second half. So
I think a lot of the difference this year is just the amount of turnovers they're forcing, McKinney, was he tied for 7 interceptions?
Our defense definitely feels...
Who's he tied with?
I think it's Kirby Joseph on the Lions, or one of those safeties on the Lions, which sucks.
I know.
Because they might steal an all-pro away from him, a first-team all-pro, I feel like. But he could also win it. He's playing at that level. I mean, this is kind of the game for both of our free agent signings. I mean, as a whole, they both played simply outstanding. But also, I think the Niners just played a horrible game.
Well, they were hurt, banged up.
I understand that, but it looked as if they didn't even come to play, which was kind of disappointing. Like, not for Packers, but like...
Well, yeah, I think it's
their
tough.
season was on the line.
Yeah, I think it's human nature creeps in. They kind of think, well, I've got Brandon Allen at quarterback.
Yeah.
Unless we pick off Love 3 times or 4 times, which is possible with the way he's throwing the ball sometimes.
Should have had 2 in this game, probably.
Yeah. But you like that from Jordan Love. You're fine with him throwing it because you can't take that away from him. You don't want him second guessing it, and then he's not making plays. So you just got to live and die by it.
I agree.
Brett Favre, he's got to do a lot more than Brett Favre to get away with it. But he's on his way.
But I mean, the Niners had 5 fumbles, only lost 2, but fumbled the ball 5 times.
Yeah.
Had that pick. Probably could have had 2 because Quay Walker dropped a pick. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it just felt like, okay, your season's on the line.
Yeah.
Show some urgency here.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were out a ton of players, but you still got Kittle, you still got Debo, you still got Christian McCaffrey.
Well, and at the half they're only down 10.
Oh, yeah.
What they were in it. They played okay in the first half. Brandon Allen threw for almost 200 yards.
That called back kick return really kind of deflated them a bit.
Penalties.
Yeah,
that's really
9. What is this?
A lot of penalties.
9 for 77 yards. I mean, that's brutal.
How many did the Packers have?
5 for 40.
Okay.
So, but I think Niners kind of they kind of got to rebuild this team because they're relying on a lot of old talent. I mean, Trent Williams, he's got to be like 38 or something up there. Who knows how long he's going to be here. Besides that, their offensive line is not good. Their D-line, without Bosa, is obviously struggling. But, I mean, you can only go so far paying a left tackle the highest, an edge rusher the highest, a linebacker the highest, a corner one of the highest, 2 receivers near the highest paid running back, the highest paid tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, you're paying all of these guys so much money, and as they age, it's just not going to work out. And now they got to pay Purdy. I don't know what they're going to do there. It feels like Purdy's kind of in that mid-range, but he's going to get a bigger contract just because it's quarterbacks. So it's kind of, we're in a spot here with the Niners. It's kind of like you kind of just got to pull the plug on a lot of these players. Because Debo, he was good a few years ago. Right now, I don't know. He's not the same player he once was. So it's not great for the Niners. It felt like they really had their window last year, and they've just completely dropped it.
Well, it's a perfect example of how fast it closes. So, I mean, you always think that your team's going to be there again, but you gotta strike while the iron's hot, and they didn't do it. So.
I know they had multiple years to do it, and they just couldn't ever.
And it may not be as drastic as cut 12 guys.
You don't gotta cut them, but they spent so much of their time just completely ignoring the D-line and O-line.
And they've been a good team for 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, they got their money's worth. They just didn't capitalize.
It just feels like there's a lot of overpaid players on that team.
They have 2 Super Bowl appearances, and they ran into the Chiefs both times. So,
but, I mean, if you look at both those games, they hold a 10-point lead.
Yeah, they just didn't get it done. And so, yeah, I mean, their window's very narrowly open. Probably not this year. Everybody's a year older. Debo looks heavier, not as quick.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know if
Shanahan's
Shanahan's
Hey, you know what? Keep them all so that they don't get better. I'm fine with that.
Get age one more year. Run it back. But yeah, Packers played well. I think it went 5 for 5 in the red zone, which was kind of a concern going into these games. So I'm glad that happened. I feel like we're finally getting to that point where the offense is heating up a bit. But got a tough one against Miami. Miami's playing well, but I think their record with Tua under 45 degrees is like 0-7. 0-7, and Tua's stats are not great. I think it's supposed to be 20 degrees or so Thursday night, Thanksgiving in Green Bay. So, should be an exciting game.
It's a prove-it game for Tua.
Yeah, yeah. And he said he wanted to break the narrative. Yeah. So bring it on, Tua. Okay. Let's go. Packers win 38-10. Another game during this was a surprising game, but not to Jaden's hot takes. Jaeden said that the Panthers would beat the Chiefs, which we kind of mocked, but this game was tied with just under a minute left. So, the Chiefs get it done, but...
Because they always do.
Yeah, I understand that, but we can't act like this was an impressive game by the Chiefs.
Doesn't need to be impressive.
I understand that, but if I'm trying to analyze teams and the NFL to see who's going to move on in the playoffs, I'm not picking Kansas City at this point.
This is the same song and dance as last year. Every analyst was saying last year, all year long, the Chiefs look vulnerable. The Chiefs look vulnerable. They're not going to get there. This isn't going to happen for them. They're not going to repeat. They're not playing well. They're not beating teams big. They win close games. They get better in December. They get better in January. And they take it in February. So, there you go. That's just the reality. That's where we are. You can analyze whatever you want on it. Kansas City is winning the Super Bowl.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, they aren't. It's not happening. I'll put $500 on it right now. $500.
I hope the check clears.
$500.
I'm not betting.
That's how confident I am this team's not going to win. Because their offense looked good this game,
I don't gamble.
But this is different. Their defense is heavily underperforming.
They win. They play well enough.
But for any other team, this is like you almost lost to the Panthers.
Any other team is not the Chiefs, though.
But this is a year-to-year league. I don't care about last year or the year before. I care about this year. I'm talking about this year.
The Chiefs rewrite the book.
Let's not act like they're the only dynasty ever. We saw the Patriots dynasty.
They were similar.
The Patriots dominated teams.
Patriots but the Patriots they didn't dominate always. Okay, not everybody, but in the big games, in the big spots, Tom Brady usually came through.
Yeah.
And they were the Kansas City to me is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. They're a lot more. I think they're a lot more dominant because their players are better than a lot of what New England had during that run. Now, what New England has is like a span of time. 2000, what was it? 2001 was their first Super Bowl
Something
or two,
like that.
Right? 2001, 2002. They're winning them they span 2 decades.
Yeah.
The Chiefs haven't done that yet. But the Chiefs in the first segment are more dominant than the Patriots in their first segment. So
yeah, I understand that, but
yeah,
I think. But just look at this as like they've won a lot of close games this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I'd be more concerned about a team that just blew everybody away because the minute you get in a tight game, it's not what you're used to. You see it happen a lot in sports. Teams blow out teams, and they don't know how to compete when it gets tough. When the haymaker doesn't land, and the other team fights back, and then they tighten up because they think, oh man, this isn't supposed to happen. The Chiefs are battle tested. They know how to win the close games. And honestly, it's Thanksgiving's in 2 days. After Thanksgiving is where I feel like they're going to show it. That's what I think.
Maybe, but I don't know. I look how Buffalo played them, and I'm like...
The road to the Super Bowl goes through Kansas City. Whether they host the game or not, you have to beat them. Until somebody beats them, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe it till I see it. And when I see it happen, kudos to that team. Kudos. Hopefully it's Josh Allen.
The thing that concerns me is that although their defense is still good this year, they are not as stacked roster-wise as last year.
But let's keep in mind, they were playing pretty well with Pacheco early on. Pacheco went down. They lost their kind of fire starter guy.
But the offense wasn't a problem in this game.
Well, yeah, but the defense to me, I mean, yeah, there's, okay, it's like cracks started to form with Buffalo, and you go into Panthers, but this was the Panthers Super Bowl. Coming off a bye, right? Were they coming off a bye?
I'm not sure.
I think they came like coming off a bye. They had this game circled. The difference between teams is so narrow in this league. It is narrow.
Yeah, but
unless you're Jacksonville.
This is the worst versus the best.
Yeah, but any given Sunday though, that's the adage, right?
Yes, but all I'm saying is, if I'm looking this year to year, if this happened to the Ravens or happened to Buffalo, it would be held against them.
That's because they haven't performed like Mahomes has.
Yeah, but this is
Kansas City.
I'm talking year to year.
It doesn't matter year to year.
But you're using other years in your context for saying it doesn't matter.
You have to use years in context.
No, I don't. I'm talking year to year. I'm talking this year they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Because they've done it last year, it doesn't matter. Just right now, nothing. You're just looking at it as is, no history. They're bad.
I never said they were bad.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
What are you saying?
I'm saying this year they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
And they will.
No one has ever three-peated.
There's a first time for everything. I mean, the odds are stacked. They're stacked against them because others have tried and failed. And, there's a lot more tape on them. I get it. This to me, if Kansas City pulls it off, it'll be one of the most impressive things to see if they do. Just because everyone's gunning for them. It's tough to do 3 times, but I just have a hard time picking against them. I just won't pick against them. Somebody has to go and prove it.
Fair enough.
That's all I'm saying.
But enough about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Honestly, the big story of this game was Bryce Young kind of had a breakout. You can probably go on Twitter or something and see a bunch of the film breakdown. He played really good. I mean, the stats not great, not amazing. 263 yards, a touchdown. But I think it was mostly just man, he made some throws. It's that's what we've been waiting to see, and I think it's honestly a confidence thing, because you pull him, and that's similarly to what the Richardson thing is. You pull him, and I'm not saying just because you pulled him that's why he's playing better, but I think it kind of puts in their mind, okay, well, I can get pulled. I'm not always the starter.
Well, it refocuses them.
Yeah. So he had a great game, and hopefully it means more to come, because I want him to succeed, mostly just to shut up Bears fans and Texans fans who will not stop talking about their quarterbacks.
Well, he's undersized. He's I don't know how his talents really compare, but we'll see. Coaching goes a long way, so. Sounds like the coach they have there is making things work.
He can. All he has to do is just be a game manager.
Yeah. And
that's better than a lot of quarterbacks. But, I think we kind of got to stop on, the C.J. Stroud hype right now, because he's not playing good either. And he has way better weapons than Bryce Young has. So, I don't know. I think Stroud's numbers kind of got skewed, and that made it look like the worst pick of all time. But it was 1 year. You got to give these guys time to develop, because it doesn't happen just like that. Mm-hmm. But it's a good step in the right direction. But they just got to do it the right way. They got to get him some weapons. But first off, they got to protect him, because you're looking at what the Texans have done. they decided to prioritize getting Diggs, a wide receiver that they really didn't need in totality. Like, you look at their receiving core, it's pretty good. They decided to get Diggs over fortifying their line, and now it's coming back to haunt them because they cannot protect Stroud.
Well, and that's why he's regressing.
Yeah, but we'll get to their game later. But I thought it was a good step in the direction for Bryce Young and the Panthers. And the Chiefs.
Too much talk on the Panthers. Let's move on.
But the Chiefs find a way, 30-27.
Yeah.
This game was just wild. It's one of just like those games you're like, did that just happen? Because like, it's just like, what a turn of events.
Well, you may have to tell what happened because I'm sure some of our 17 listeners, I know a couple of them are grandparents of ours that don't watch football. Mm-hmm. So, what happened in the game that was so weird?
The Commanders were down, I think it was like 19-8 or so, entering.
It was 19-9.
19-9 at one point, and I'm like, all right, dude, they suck. Like, this game's over.
Well, actually, the best way to probably sum this up, the score is 34-26, and the points scored in the fourth quarter were 24-17.
Yeah,
for the Cowboys.
But I think the Commanders had the ball, and like they needed to go the length of the field. They were down 27-20. They needed to go the length of the field to tie the game
with under 30 seconds.
But even
20.
But even before that, because Dallas returned that kick, I think. Yeah, they must have. Did they tie it? They tied it. 20-20 maybe, and then Dallas returned a kick. First off, to make it 27-20. So then the Commanders had to go the length of the field to tie the game, and then they hit on like an 80-yard touchdown pass where
87 yards.
Dallas just forgets to tackle. Like, they just forget to even tackle McLaurin, and he just goes right past them.
And then they miss the
the extra point. Yep. And it's like, are you serious?
Yep.
And then they go for the onside kick, and then it's returned by Dallas for a touchdown.
Which is kind of dumb, by the way.
Yeah, it was dumb. They could have ended the game, but then they gave them a chance, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
They ended up Dallas ended up winning the game, but you know, as cool of a win this was for Dallas, I think their fans are probably not very happy with this win. Because I mean, you're not going to win anything this year. Your division's stacked. The NFC is stacked. It's not like you can squeak in this year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you just like made your draft positioning worse.
Yeah.
But I mean,
you have no money to spend. Your starting quarterback is out. Just tank.
I know it's
get the pick, but hey, you know, I guess kudos to them for not stopping or not stopping their competing.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't stop competing, so
it was just, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think Washington has a great roster.
No, they're a couple of years away.
Yeah. So I feel like they've definitely overachieved this season, but what were they at one point, like 7-3, 7-2?
Well, and let's hope next year they rename the team.
Yeah. I don't like Commanders.
I've heard rumors it might go back to Redskins.
Really?
So that would be cool. Washington Redskins. That's what
it's always been.
Not all of you, but I don't know the ages of our 17 listeners, but I'm pretty sure the majority of them were alive when they were the Redskins. So
yeah. But it's kind of a weird game, but it was entertaining. The whole morning slate was pretty entertaining, which is our next game happens to be. So yeah, Cowboys win 34-26. Yep. Crazy game. Finally, it's just like this whole morning slate was so bizarre. The Titans, like I said, shocked the Texans 32-27. I mean, Texans missed like 2 field goals, I think. It's just
Texans were favored by 8.
They
seem into this game.
Yeah, they just seem broken. Like
they just, you know, yeah, it was a little embarrassing, I think, for the Texans. They had a lot of missed opportunities, breakdowns on defense. They allowed a lot of big plays in the game. They got they got in field goal range. What, he missed like a 20-yard field goal?
Yeah.
I mean, to tie it, and then the next possession with time running out, C.J. Stroud runs out of the back of the end zone for a safety.
Did an Orlovsky.
Did a total Dan Orlovsky. Ran out of the back of the end zone. Safety. So, I mean, they're down 30-27. Have not a lot of time left trying to get into field goal range because they missed the chip shot. It's just a lot of, 7-5 team. Not quite sure. They've just not looked sharp.
No.
Not as sharp as I felt like they would. And, the Titans, Will Levis, he's got a big arm. Seems like he's probably going to get another year.
You'll probably keep him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's be real. This quarterback draft class is not very strong.
No.
So it's kind of like, are you really going to draft a guy, overdraft a guy?
Yeah.
For, I think you probably just let Levis start. I mean, he's shown improvement.
Keep him as is.
I mean, his biggest problem is he just makes, like, the dumbest plays of all time.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that do that.
Yeah. But, I mean, Stroud, man, he's struggling right now. And it comes down that line. Like we said earlier, they decided, let's go get a two really shiny new weapons. I think Mixon was a good signing. But it's just like, I mean, your offensive line sucks. Like, they are really bad. And you're getting your quarterback killed out there. And that's not all of it. I mean, he had 2 stupid interceptions this game. So I think he's thrown quite a bit, too, since, like, week 9 or something.
Yep.
It's just kind of like, man. And, I mean, Mixon this game, 14 for 22. Man. He's been good this year. But, I mean, the Titans have a good defense. So, I think this was kind of a possibility coming in this game. You're like, I mean, if they're able to just get it going a little bit on offense, they might be able to upset these guys. But, man, I mean, the Texans will probably make the playoffs, but I don't
first round exit.
Yeah, I don't know that
they're
you're like excited if you're a Texans fan. Because, I mean, this is just like, and I mean, you don't have Diggs because he's out, but it's just kind of like, man.
Yep.
Especially the defense today.
It's a bad loss.
Really?
It's a bad loss at home.
Yeah, just really bizarre loss, but hopefully
can't lose to a 2-8 team coming in. So.
And a division opponent. You just can't do it. But yeah, Titans upset the Texans 32-27. Okay. Time for the Bracken batch, the top 10 NFL teams going into week 13. Who's the number 1 team?
Oh, man. Who is the number 1 team? It's probably the Lions.
That's what I would probably agree with that.
Lions.
I mean, they're just dominating teams. They even had an off game against the Colts. They still beat them. So,
yep.
I think Lions at 1. For number 2, I don't know. I'll probably just say Bills. They had a bye week, but I think you beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, Bills.
You're probably number 2.
Sure.
So say Bills. Who's number 3?
Number 3 team to me is probably Kansas City.
Kansas City. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4, I think I got to go the Eagles. They're just playing really good football. Saquon Barkley, MVP candidate.
Yeah. Number 5 would be the Ravens.
Ravens?
Probably. Or who am I missing?
I don't know. I mean, Vikings, Packers, Steelers.
I think Ravens are still above that. I think Ravens are 5th.
Yeah, Ravens there. I think at 6th. Oh, man. I think I'll put the Vikings at 6th. I'll put the Vikings at 6th.
Sure, I'll go with that. 7, I'll probably go. I'd probably go Packers, maybe.
Yeah, I've kind of been putting the Packers and Vikings right there at that
6, 7.
spot.
Yeah.
I think last week they were 7-8, but either way, I think at number 8, I don't want to drop the Steelers too far.
They're probably 8.
So I'd probably put the Steelers at 8.
Yeah.
What about number 9?
Number 9's probably...
I'd probably go Chargers, to be honest.
Yeah, probably Chargers.
I mean, they lost to Baltimore, but...
Yeah.
I mean, they kept it pretty close throughout.
Yeah, probably Chargers.
Number 10? I don't know.
10's probably a little bit of a toss-up. Probably, I would probably go... Maybe you go... Who's one of the other division? Either, I mean, gosh, feels like you take Atlanta, you take Seattle, they're all kind of equal.
I might just put Seahawks.
Buccaneers even. Buccaneers just are, the record's a little low, but man, they're dangerous, I feel like. Tampa Bay.
I'm going to go Seahawks because, I mean, they're leading their division.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. That spot's tough. I don't really.
It's a tough one.
It seems like this year it's kind of just like a bunch of good teams and then kind of mediocre after that. But yeah, I'll probably go Seahawks round up the top 10. But we'll see where this is at by next week. Okay, the podcast pick 'em for Week 13 in the NFL. He'll read me off the games, and I'll pick who's going to win and who's going to cover and stuff.
And then we'll review the results next week.
Yep.
Okay, so starting us off, Thanksgiving morning, 10:30 a.m. on CBS. Chicago Bears at Detroit Lions.
What's the line?
Lions by 10.5.
Lions. I'm going to pick the Bears to cover. Not
Bears
to win.
Within 10, huh?
I think they'll keep it close.
Bears within 10. I agree with that pick. Okay, coming up after that is our 2:30 slot. It's the Dallas Cowboys hosting the New York Giants with Tommy DeVito.
Yep. What's the line?
Gosh, kind of crazy. Dallas minus 2.5.
They win and cover.
Yeah, that's
the Giants
easy.
are a dumpster fire.
That's an easy pick right there. But is DeVito coming?
I think so.
Like, that's what Baker got wrong. Baker was too much elbow when he did
It's just
his.
like
It's like it just.
Yeah.
So okay, then the nightcap on Thanksgiving: Green Bay Packers hosting Miami Dolphins, and it is Packers by 3.5.
Packers win 24-10.
Okay.
And they cover.
They cover. Okay. Then on a Friday game, Black Friday game, tuning in on Amazon Prime. There we go.
Nobody's tuning in.
1 p.m. Kansas City Chiefs hosting your Las Vegas Raiders. Now remember, your grandfather is a Raider fan. I don't know if he's one of the 17 subscribers. I think he is.
Probably. I don't know.
I don't know if he...
You should subscribe if you want.
I know he's watched. He might not be a subscriber, but what you got there? Kansas City minus 13.5.
Raiders cover that all day.
Raiders.
Kansas City
13.
Kansas City by 5.
Interesting. Okay. That might not be a bad one. We'll see. What was it? Christmas last year? The Raiders won? Josh Jacobs, though, so who knows? All right, then we've got an 11 o'clock time slot. Atlanta Falcons hosting the LA Chargers. Chargers come in as a road favorite, minus 1.5.
Chargers win and cover.
Yeah, that's probably a good bet. I don't know. Falcons coming off a bye. We'll see.
I don't know. They've kind of played off this year.
11 o'clock. Also, Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bengals, home favorites, minus 3.5.
They're favorites.
Yep, home favorites.
Steelers win.
Steelers win. They're going to
win outright.
So they're going to win outright or cover, huh? Okay,
yeah.
So, all right, we'll see. And then 11 o'clock, you've got Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Houston Texans. Jaguars are a home dog at 5.5.
Texans. Is Trevor Lawrence starting?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Texans win and cover. They get a get right game.
Okay, they're going to win by 6? Okay.
Yeah.
All All right, then you've got same 11 o'clock slot. You got Minnesota Vikings hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Vikings home favorite, -3.5.
They're at home.
They're at home.
Vikings win and cover.
They're going to cover? Okay. And then also 11 o'clock slot, you've got New England Patriots hosting the Indianapolis Colts. New England home dog, 3.5.
I think New England wins.
Think New England beats the Colts at home?
Anthony Richardson completes like 30% of his passes.
Well, so you'll take the spread, or New England wins outright?
New England wins outright.
Okay. Well, either way.
This is like a statement game for Drake May. That's my prediction.
Okay. All right, 11 o'clock time slot. I think I'm going to watch this game. The New York Jets with your favorite ex-Packer quarterback Aaron Rodgers hosting the 6-5 Seattle Seahawks, and the Jets are a home dog.
I was gonna say no way they're
2.5.
2.5.
Yep, home dog against
Seahawks win.
Seahawks win
and cover.
All right, so much for the loyalty, Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just being honest. Did you see that though? Aaron Rodgers went on McAfee and completely like roasted Diana Rossini for her reporting.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me.
No, but like he said, none of this is true. I never once said to anybody that I want to be with a different team in 2025.
Wow.
I completely support that. If it's untrue reporting, then
I don't know. He's also not going to ever admit that it was true.
He's
not going to go on and admit that.
Sure he would. No,
because there's no benefit to him. Like, he can get up there on McAfee and be like, nah, she's full of crap. And she can come back and say, no, my sources were good. This is done. And he can be like, well, you can't reveal your sources because then you can't get them anymore. And so it's just always a he said.
Yeah, but he said,
so.
But he says that his sources are very close to him, and he didn't tell anybody that.
I mean,
his circle is small.
It's a he said, she said thing.
I believe Rodgers.
I don't know that his circle's as tight as he thinks. So anyhow, all right. Last game in the 11 o'clock time slot, you got the Washington Commanders hosting the Tennessee Titans. Washington is a home favorite at 5.5.
Washington. Tennessee covers. Washington wins.
Okay. Tennessee, you're going to take. Okay. Within 5. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, first game in the 2:05 time slot, you got Carolina Panthers hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Carolina home dog, 6.5.
Panthers cover. Bucks win.
Okay. Then we've got the other 2:05 slot. You've got the LA Rams at the New Orleans Saints. Rams are road favorite, 3.5.
Rams win and cover.
Rams need
get
that
right game.
All right, then the 2:25 might be the game of the day. You've got the 8-4 Baltimore Ravens hosting the 9-2 Philadelphia Eagles. Baltimore home favorite, 2.5.
Eagles win outright.
Wow,
they're gonna toast that Baltimore defense. Barkley's gonna run wild. Lamar's gonna struggle like he does against good teams.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then the night game. This on paper looks better than it probably is going to be.
Yeah.
You've got your 9-2 Buffalo Bills home favorites, 6.5 over the visiting San Francisco 49ers. Maybe without Purdy.
If Purdy
maybe with Purdy.
What is the line?
6.5 Buffalo home favorite. Probably means Purdy's not
in
playing.
Buffalo or
in Buffalo.
Buffalo wins and covers easily.
Yep. All right, then Monday night, you've got the Denver Broncos hosting the Cleveland Browns. And Denver's a 5.5 point favorite.
Oh, man. I think the Browns cover. I think the Broncos win.
Okay. All right.
I really liked what I saw from Jameis Winston on
Okay, we're
Thursday.
locked in.
Okay.
We'll see next week.
We'll see how I do. I think I'll do pretty good, but I don't know. I don't think I've done very good this year in the pick'ems, but I've also missed a ton of games. I just keep forgetting to do them. But moving on. Jaden's hot takes. Let me pull them up here, see what Jaeden has blessed us with today. Okay, he's only got 2.
Okay.
But the Chiefs get eliminated in the second round.
The second round of the playoffs?
Yes, I agree.
Well, so that would be their first round because they're going to get the bye.
So, the divisional round.
In the divisional round, they get eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. Let's think about this here a little bit.
If you look at the playoff picture now,
who would they face potentially?
I mean, if the playoffs started today, you're playing. So who wins? Denver, Buffalo. Probably Buffalo.
Yeah. So they're not facing Buffalo.
Chargers, Pittsburgh.
So they're gonna face the lowest seed, right?
You'll probably play Baltimore,
and that ain't happening.
You're probably either playing Baltimore or LA.
The only teams that are gonna go into Kansas City at Arrowhead in January, all that crowd noise, everything, Andy Reid scheming, fresh team, no way. Not happening.
Not anybody.
No, I feel like the only team that's going to knock them out is Buffalo. I think that. Now we'll see what Pittsburgh does when they play later this season. If
Pittsburgh could give them a battle.
Pittsburgh could be a team, but we'll have to see how they do. But yeah, I don't think so. I mean,
I think they at least make the conference championship.
Yeah, I think if Kansas City loses, it's either in the conference championship or the Super Bowl.
I think if they lose, it's going to be to Buffalo in the conference championship. If Buffalo makes it, which I feel like they do. But
I feel like they can lose 2 ways: to Buffalo in the AFC Championship and to Detroit, or maybe Philly in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
the way that Saquon Barkley is playing and that whole team with Philly, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how 3 or 4, 5 weeks ago, everybody's calling for Sirianni's job. Now, I don't believe Sirianni's that great of a coach, but I think Saquon Barkley is the ultimate locker room guy. I think you're seeing that now in New York after he left. They've just crumbled. The Giants are just a dumpster fire. And I think Saquon was really holding it together. And so, and honestly, I think Daniel Jones as well, because you've seen a lot of the fallout after he's gone. I think there were a lot of players in there that liked Daniel Jones, and because I'm sure he's just a really good guy. And so I think those two left. Now, Daniel Jones, I'm not saying he was any good, really, but he also wasn't put in a great spot either. So Daniel Jones, to me, we'll find out what he's made of if he ever signs with a team and gets an opportunity.
Well,
if he goes there, then we'll see.
The next hot take is Daniel Jones goes to the Dolphins. Which
to back up Tua?
Yeah, apparently.
Because Tua gets concussed or something?
I don't really see it for numerous reasons.
Why would you say this?
It seems at this point, Daniel Jones wants to go to a contender and win a ring. He doesn't really care about starting.
Well, he's not going to the Dolphins then.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't understand that take. I think Jaeden earlier in the week, he said he would go to the Colts, which again, I do not get. Because, I mean, if he wanted to go start, he would go to the Raiders because they have an opening right now. But it seems that he doesn't, and he just wants to have a chance to win.
He wants to go to a team that can compete.
Yeah.
And he can just figure out what winning feels like.
I agree.
You know?
But that's not where the Dolphins are at this point. And if you go, I think he said he'll make his decision like by the end of the year. So he has time to like kind of see who's in and who's out, but I don't know, the Dolphins, I mean, they do need a backup. Skylar Thompson's not very good.
Well, it's a safe bet if he just goes and signs with Detroit or he signs with Vikings.
Yeah.
They're going to make the playoffs.
That's what I would think would happen.
If those teams want him, because I don't know who's backing up Sam Darnold. I don't know who's backing up Jared Goff. So maybe he goes there. Honestly, if the Packers didn't have Malik Willis, I would probably be like, dude, Packers, sign Daniel Jones.
Might as well.
just have somebody just in case.
He instantly becomes one of the better backups in the league.
Just how banged up Jordan Love has been. I mean, that would have been a thing, but Malik Willis is fine. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But that's a terrible take. Yeah, no offense, Jaeden. That's terrible.
Just like, where are you going with
this? It's not a terrible take. It's just kind of like a meh take.
It's like, okay.
It's
Dolphins. Like I texted you today and give me some hot takes.
Yeah, and you just pulled that out of your, you know what.
Well, maybe I did.
Which is fine. Maybe that's what hot takes are, is they just are pulled out of your, you know what.
It happens all the time with you. You always send me the worst hot takes, so that's why it's a segment on here.
Keep sending them.
Keep coming up with those garbage takes in your head. But, yeah, moving on. Everyone's favorite topic.
Now, we did get a special request with this from one of our 17 listeners.
We did.
Yeah, she knows who she is. Because we have various time frames that people watch this, could you be specific of the date that this day in sports is?
I usually do.
Do you? Well, this one of 17 said you didn't. So but we'd really love it if you'd put that in the comments so that we can start getting some comments. Okay. And not just a verbal one.
I'm scrolling through here now. Okay, in 1961, Pro Baseball Rules Committee votes 8-1 against legalizing the spitball.
And what day was that?
This is on this day.
Yeah, what's today?
November 26th.
November 26th, okay.
Tuesday, November 26th.
On November 26th in what year was it?
1961.
1961.
All these...
The spitball, but now it's outlawed.
Yeah.
So when did it get outlawed?
I don't know.
Maybe we'll come across that when we get to that day.
Let's see here.
Oh, what's the O.J. Simpson one?
O.J. Simpson won the Heisman. You know who else should win the Heisman? Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
That's who should win the Heisman.
What is O.J. Simpson most famous for?
I don't know. I think he was a pretty good guy. He's a pretty good guy. Let's see here. A lot of Iron Bowls. A lot of Alabama versus Auburn. So I don't know if there's anything to that. I've just seen a few of them while scrolling through here.
What was the Guy Lafleur?
Guy Lafleur retires.
He retired. Oh, okay.
Okay. Dan Marino sets NFL record with 343rd touchdown pass. So that's pretty cool.
Dang, he set the NFL record there, and then he left it
1995.
Then he left it at 420. That's crazy.
Steve Yzerman scores 600th career goal.
Wow. I think he ended up in the 700s in goals.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
You know who else is close to breaking the goal record? This guy up here, 27 away. Well,
there's a little hiccup in there thanks to the Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah,
broke
injuring
his leg. So
dirty players.
Out 6 weeks or so. 4 to 6 weeks.
A lot of Iron Bowls. I don't know if that's something they do. A lot of Alabama versus Auburn. So must be something that they do on this day for some reason. That's kind of it. In 2023, Max Verstappen confirms his third consecutive World F1 Drivers' Championship. I think he won it again, like a few days ago.
Maybe we'll have to start doing like a NASCAR segment or something when the season starts, huh?
Okay, yeah, we can
Gearing up to the Daytona 500. That's right around the corner.
There we go. That's basically it for On This Day in Sports. We'll keep it coming next week. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We hope you have a good day, a good Thanksgiving. Please like and subscribe, comment.
Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe.
We want you guys to leave more comments so we can figure out what we should change or do with our show.
Let us know what other sports you want to know about.
Yeah, we're open to any other sports.
We watch a lot of sports. So.
I mean, we could talk about basketball and hockey and baseball, but right now it's just like those games, those sports are very, I'm not going to say boring, but it's just like...
It's too early in the season.
Yeah, there's a lot of games. Yeah. So it's kind of like NFL is like we're in the thick of the NFL right now. Yeah. Like this is like playoffs right now.
For sure.
So let us know if you want to hear
about
Thanksgiving.
It.
Yeah. Have a good Thanksgiving. And thanks for watching. Have a good one.